Here's a cool fact. A crocodile can't stick out its tongue. Another cool fact, you can get short-term health insurance for a month or just under a year in some states. United Healthcare short-term insurance plans are designed for people who are between jobs, coming off their parents' plan, or turning a side hustle into a full-time gig. Underwritten by Golden Rule Insurance Company, they offer flexible, budget-friendly coverage with access to a nationwide network of doctors and hospitals. Get more cool facts about United Healthcare short-term plans at uh1.com.
On today's Smart 7, Labour hit back over budget, Pope Francis under fire over Ukraine comments, and lots more. It's Monday 11th of March, it's World Plumbing Day, and happy birthday, Jodie Comer.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
After a week which saw former PM Theresa May become the 59th Tory MP to announce they're leaving Parliament at the next election, Labour have been busy crafting their pitch to the public. Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves made the media rounds this weekend and was brutally honest in her assessment of the economy, blaming the Tories, but also warning that a Labour government wouldn't be able to rescue all the local councils going bust. She says she's determined to invest in public services.
I had to be honest with people that the damage that the Conservatives have done to the economy will affect what an incoming Labour government can do. And I am determined to be the Chancellor that lifts living standards whilst also investing again in our public services.
And it turns out things might be even worse than they appear, as the Institute for Fiscal Studies Director Paul Johnson revealed local authority funding decisions are often based on old data.
Local authority funding is now based on data which is like 10, 15 years out of date. So the amount of money each local authority gets from central government is almost a random number. And the government again has said, oh, we'll sort that out after the next election.
More than 80 Palestinians were killed and over 120 wounded this weekend following a series of Israeli attacks. It includes an early morning strike on a residential tower in Rafah, which gave hundreds of civilians just half an hour to flee. It comes as pressure builds on Israel to open up land borders and allow humanitarian aid trucks into Gaza, with hundreds of thousands thought to be facing famine. And US President Joe Biden has implored Israel to hold off on another major offensive.
I'm never going to leave Israel. There's no red line. I'm going to cut off all weapons so they don't have the Iron Dome to protect them. But cannot have 30,000 more Palestinians dead. There's other ways to deal with the trauma caused by Hamas.
This weekend also saw thousands march in London to call for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Leading off the protest was Welsh singer-songwriter Charlotte Church, who urged the people of the UK to join her.
The whole idea that marches like this are like in any way threatening is total propaganda, to be honest. I would encourage all of the people who are sat at home thinking, oh, I do really care and I do really feel for the people of Palestine, to please come out and see for yourself.
Sunday saw 3 people killed by Russian shelling in eastern Ukraine, while a dozen more were left wounded after a strike on a residential building in the town of Myrnahad. Meanwhile, Pope Francis came under fire this weekend after an interview in which he seemingly put the onus on Ukraine to make peace with Russia was released on Saturday. He's facing criticism from politicians across Europe after calling for Ukraine to raise the white flag of courage and make a deal with Russia.
When you see that you are defeated, when things are not going well, you have to have the courage to negotiate. One may feel shame, but how many dead will the war end up with? And it will end even worse.
Almost a year on since strike action first began, junior doctors in England still haven't reached an agreement over pay. They're calling for a 35% pay increase to restore wages to 2008 levels and have staged 10 walkouts over the past year in protest. Health Secretary Victoria Atkins says she's finally ready to make a deal, but warns expectations must be realistic.
With junior doctors, I want to do a deal. They walked out of our negotiations at the end of last year. They have to come back with some reasonable expectations. And by the way, I don't just want to talk about pay. I also want to talk about working conditions, about their well-being.
Still to come on the Smart 7, All Square at Anfield and Oppenheimer wins big at the Oscars. Right after this.
A lot can happen in 3 years, like a chatbot may be your new best friend. But what won't change? Needing health insurance. United Healthcare Tri-Term Medical Plans, underwritten by Golden Rule Insurance Company, offer flexible, budget-friendly coverage that lasts nearly 3 years in some states. Learn more at uh1.com.
Welcome back.
It's been another busy weekend in the Premier League. Arsenal climbed back to the top of the table after a 2-1 win over Brentford, whilst Man United took down Everton 2-0 and Spurs demolished Aston Villa 4-0 to sit just 2 points behind them in fifth. But all eyes were on Liverpool versus Man City on Sunday as Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola faced off for the last time in the Premier League. It finished 1-1 after a second-half Liverpool penalty cancelled out John Stones' early lead for City. Liverpool boss Klopp, who's leaving the club at the end of the season, says he's delighted with his team's second-half performance.
That was the best second half. The best performance in the second half we ever played against Man City, definitely. We never dominated them as much. We never were so brave. It's unbelievable. What the game the boys played in the second half is absolutely exceptional.
It first premiered at Tribeca back in 2022, but American Dreamer finally got its theatrical release on Friday. It's a black comedy loosely based on a This American Life segment, which sees Peter Dinklage play an economics professor who thinks his dream has come true when a lonely widow offers him her entire estate. Peter made an appearance on Seth Meyers last week to promote the movie and ended up sharing the horror stories of being a young actor renting in New York.
I had a landlord once pull a knife on us. It was the early 90s, fresh out of college, thinking we were going to own New York City in the theater world, and so we never put on any plays. We just drank a lot, and he just had anger issues, I guess.
Yeah.
That we weren't like doing Broadway-style shows, apparently.
Sunday saw LA roll out the red carpet as hundreds of Hollywood's biggest names flocked to the Dolby Theatre for the 96th Academy Awards. It was a big night for Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, which led the way with 13 nominations and left with 7 awards, including Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor and Best Director for Christopher Nolan. Barbie, which had been nominated for 8 awards, ended up with only 1 for Best Song by Billie Eilish, who performed on the night. Meanwhile, fan favourite to secure her second Best Actress award for her role in Poor Things, Emma Stone pulled off the surprise of the night. Divine Joy Randolph won Best Supporting Actress for her role in The Holdovers. The Holocaust drama Zone of Interest is the first British film to take home the International Feature Award. His first-time nominee Cillian Murphy accepting his first Oscar for Best Actor in Oppenheimer.
I'm a little overwhelmed. Thank you to the Academy. We made a film about the man who created the atomic bomb, and for better or for worse, we're all living in Oppenheimer's world, so I would really like to dedicate this to the peacemakers everywhere. Good to be in the market.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
Hey guys, welcome to Giggly Squad,
a place where we make fun of everything, but most importantly, ourselves.
I'm Paige DeSorbo.
I'm Hannah Berner.
Welcome to the squad.
Giggly Squad started on Summer House when we were giggling during an inappropriate time.
But of course, we can't be managed.
So we decided to start this podcast to continue giggling.
We will make fun of pop culture news,
we're watching,
fashion trends, pep talks where we give advice,
mental health moments,
and games and guests.
Listen to Giggly Squad on Acast or wherever you get your podcasts.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.